And here on the main stage or the executive stage, we have the innovating construction. So we're continuing with the construction subject, digital, lean, and culture. So I see Slovakia is there on stage. Hello, Veronica.
Hello,
And I will
hello.
leave the stage with you too.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. My name is Veronika Gregorkova from the Lini Institute, Slovakia. And it's a big pleasure for me to welcome on the stage our speaker, Marek Demchek. Marek has years of experiences in the manufacturing, but since the 2 years already in a new life, let's say, of construction. So that's why this topic. Marek excel at navigating complex organization challenges and also creating environments where innovation, efficiency, and excellence thrive. So Marek is really great lean enthusiast and big fan of digital innovations, problem solving, project management, and big fan and contributed to the coaching. So welcome, Marek.
Thank you.
And stage is yours. For all of the attendees, please use the Q&A for the questions. Marek will answer the questions at the end of his presentation. Enjoy.
Yeah. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you for nice introduction. Now I feel like master of the universe. I'm not at all. So I'm very humble to present something about lean on such an amazing event, and even more humble to present something about construction. But it's my favorite topic, and I hope you will enjoy it as well as I do. So now I try to share my screen. Hope everything works well. Okay. Veronica, I just need confirmation that it's okay.
Just perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so let's use this time in a very effective way. Let's speak about lean, of course, and let's speak about construction, innovating things, innovation, bit of AI. So when I mean digital, and these days everything's connected to AI, so I need to touch this topic, and I like to because there is something very amazing to show you. So I have something amazing to show you. So lean and culture, that's the main topic. And I have a very short video just at the beginning. It's BIM modeling. So if you are from the construction industry, you already know what it is. So it's like digital twin of the building you're going to build. So this is our current project we're building in Slovakia. It's a project with named Civern. And you see the detail in which we model everything. I think when I saw it the first time, I was totally thrilled. So for building we are going to build, we have every nitty-gritty detail. So you see the corridors, you see all the pipes, you see bathrooms, tubes, you see even valves on each room, on each pipe where it is necessary. So yeah, a little bit of roller coaster and introduction of how we actually design buildings. And we are not, it's 21st century, so many companies do that. I'm still amazed how the technology progresses. And we don't just design buildings in BIM modeling, but we can even compare different way of construction them. So we can go to gradual construction, we can go to combined construction, and we see which goes faster. So we check the construction duration time. So that's the basic intro, and the main things I like to mention, and I will come to them very often during the whole presentation, are size. So the size matters in construction. So you can notice that the project Sweden gross built area is 65,000 square meters. And again, I will repeat it because this is quite important information to start with. So that's how we actually define the size in construction. So gross built area, 65,000 square meters. And then what we check, the second thing is a construction duration time, so lead time in lean terminology. So we can combine different ways, and we can choose the one that fits the best. So you see then if we go in combined construction, then the construction duration is 31 months. So we can even save 5 months of construction. I can tell you it's a hell of money. in those projects. So yeah, 21st century, and we say this is revolution in construction. So the days or the era we are living now, it's fantastic. And but I'll stop here. So is it really revolution, or is it not the revolution in construction? And I will start that this is not a revolution in construction. All the technology we already have, it's amazing, it's thrilling, it's helpful, brings a lot of benefits. But is it? And I'm going to challenge this, because this is not a revolution in construction. This, what we see, this is productivity crisis. And I like to demonstrate what I speak about. So if you follow my LinkedIn profile, you already know that's what I have in mind. I put some posts there about last century, 1929, 1930s or 30s in United States. And I guess you all know this picture. So the question, where is this picture from? So can you name the building? Where is it from? Just for yourself. Many people, including me, I related this picture to Empire State Building, but it is not. It's from Rockefeller Center, and it's taken like 5 or 6 years after the Empire State Building was taken. But what's very important about this picture is that it's fake. It's canned. It's a ranch photograph. It's for marketing purposes. So they might be actors or they might be the real workers, but it's not like the daily life on the construction. They made this picture just to do the marketing for skyscrapers in United States in 30s, in 20s and 30s. But not this picture, but this picture and this picture and these pictures, those are all real pictures. That actually what happened in 1920s and 30s in New York. And if you go to that era, and I think it's quite amazing era, because there was the New York at that time was the center of financial world, or financial center of the world. Wall Street and jazz and all the dancing pubs and a lot of money and a lot of the necessity for people, for offices, got people to build skyscrapers, because Manhattan, you know, every square meter is expensive as hell, and it was even that time. So there was a kind of competition who builds the highest building, because money were already there. Maybe something similar we can see these days in Dubai, or even few years later or ago. So, but I'm going back to New York and to Empire State Building. And what's so shocking about Empire State Building is maybe one of the most efficient building in the words of effectivity and productivity. At the beginning, I mentioned two things are important in construction: the size and the time. So the gross built area for Empire State Building is 208,879 square meters. If you remember a few slides ago, I showed you our project here in Bratislava, and it's 65,000. And if you remember, the duration we are going to build this project is 31 months. So in comparison with Empire State Building, they built 200,000 in 13.5 months. So up to the heights of 102 floors, and the total height is 381 meters. And then the questions come, okay, but we cannot compare that. Okay, because they have the different technology. Okay, all the safety rules and regulations. Here we can stop. So obviously there were not so much safety regulations in that era based on those pictures. But on the other hand, if you find a track record of how many, for example, died or injured during the construction, the numbers are not as high as we might consider or we might guess. So we can come to that a bit later if you want to. So, but that's what I mean. Like, we are facing kind of productivity crisis, because these days we would not be able to build such a building in such a short time. Many things changed in 100 years time, but we have even better technology. We even have a BIM modeling, but still, I can say this is kind of impossible. But I don't want to stay only in United States, because yeah, it's breathtaking and it's amazing and fantastic. And Empire State Building stayed for 70 years or something, the highest building in the world. Now you go to Dubai, you see that it's not true anymore. But they built the building just after they finished a Chrysler building just next to it, and that was the highest building. It was like 318 meters. This one is 381. So shocking. But this productivity, efficiency in construction didn't actually happen only in the United States. I'll come to that. We have similar project in Slovakia, but here I come to Lean because if you read all books and all the materials about them, how they built Empire State Building, you will see something about daily huddles or daily coordination meetings. You see they produce in very synchronized way. They have, we call it these days takt time planning. So they have even takt of 2 days according to the steel construction they need to do per floor. So takt time per floor was 2 days. Now it seems to be also impossible. They had just in time delivery of the material, just what they needed when they need it. They get their steel beams from Pittsburgh, and there are some stories that where they deliver beams on the construction site, they were still hot because they will just produce according to the needs what they need. So quite shocking, and it's shocking because now we speak. We need to bring lean into the construction, and lean originated in Toyota production system. But Toyota produced the first car 5 years after the Empire State Building was finished. And within Toyota in 1935 or 36 starting to build cars, I guess they were far from Toyota production system. So some principles they used here are, I would say, this was lean construction already. So I have a theory that from the future, when the builders went to the past to build the pyramids, they made a short stop in Roaring Twenties in the United States for party, and they just in 13 months built it, Empire State Building. So yeah, quite interesting. Lean principles could be found even 100 years ago in construction. And not only in the United States. This, what you see, it's a project in Slovakia. It's a residential building. It's called Avion. By the picture, you can guess it was not built yesterday and not even 10 years ago. It was actually built 100 years ago. So I'll show you a few more pictures. So this almost finished building, you see the car. So those car doesn't drive anymore. You see on this picture when it's finished, yeah, they use horses in daytime still, and the roads were quite empty. Now we can say, okay, it was easy to build, there was no traffic, but that's not the point. And now you see how the building looks like today. So it still exists, and it's also very interesting from the architectural point of view. It's one of the buildings that are really nice to see in Bratislava for the location, but also for the architecture. And what's surprising that they finished the building in the same year as they did Empire State Building. Almost they used the same amount of time. So you see 13 or 5 months to 14 months, but the cross-built area changes a little bit. So it's not 200,000, it's just 29,500 square meters. So yeah, 100 years ago, we were able to build this building in 14 months. And now I come to shocking through because we did some calculation in our company. We took our historical data. Now we're able to evaluate how long does it take for us to build different buildings, so we can easily compare with competitors or ourselves. And we found out that it would take, and that's the question for you, if you can guess, how long does it would take us to build this building now with the knowledge we have and the technology we have? So just really rough guess. So you can tell for yourself. I'll tell you immediately. It's 27 months. So based on our historical data, how we build projects. So yeah, we will need double time to build this building now. That's what I say. That we are in a productivity crisis. We cannot repeat our previous successes. And if I go more to the data and to see some analytics, I found this analytic about the gross value added per hour work. So what's the productivity in construction? And you see, if we compare it, like for since 1995 in construction, manufacturing, information, communication, agriculture, you see that construction has a severe problem regarding productivity. So that's actually how I entered the construction business. So I had some experiences in lean, in designing production lines, in logistic and tact and cycle times and lead time and everything, but in manufacturing, not in construction. So I came here and say, okay, but nice, we like you to have it, but here is the issue. So we need to do something with that. Then, okay, so what I learned in Lean, everything starts with lead time. And I watched the previous keynote by Michael Balle, and he mentioned one thing, which I had to notice because of my confirmation bias, that you need to understand the lead time. So start with understanding lead time. That's what actually I started in here. I started to look where is the lead time, what does it mean, and what is the financial effect of the lead time. So yeah, we are in a project-driven environment. So I said, okay, construction, lead time, show me the diagram. They show me the plan, how they build a construction. So when I saw that one, I told you, okay, so what a mess is that? Now, after 1 year, I can tell you this is actually not bad planning for construction. This is actually quite good. It's from our real project, few years old, but there are some lean principles even in this planning. But for a newbie, it was like complete mess. But we can work with that, and I'll show you even better version on that. So when I say we are, so a short marketing break, and just to explain from which company I'm coming from. So I'm working from YIT, which is a Finnish company. As you can see on the screen, we operate in Sweden, Finland, in Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Central European countries, Poland, Czech, and of course Slovakia. And the main business, you see, it's divided between housing, business premises, and infrastructure. We in Slovakia, we do only housing, and on the picture, you see our headquarters, which actually we renovated. It's the old spinning mill. It's a lovely place. So once you're in Bratislava and you're close, just send me a message. We can have a coffee, and I can show you how it looks like around. So that's YIT Slovakia in brief. So what do we do? Actually, this is also quite interesting. We cover the entire life cycle in housing and business premises, business, small part we still have. So you see acquisition, project management, product management, design, construction, execution, marketing, sales, client changes, and so on. So we touch everything, and we consider this to be our competitive advantage. And how we would like to, or how we are actually fighting this productivity crisis is by following three main pillars in Slovakia, which are like a driving force for our strategy, and it's behind our decisions. And you see, it's rationalization, and it's the different name for lean in our environment, digitalization, and company culture. So, and in the last 10 minutes, I'll show you a little bit of each. I'll start with lean, of course, and I'll start with Taichi Ono, of course. So if we speak about lean, we need to go back to the roots, not to Empire State Building, but in this time to Toyota Production System. And again, using the words of Michael Balle, start to understand lead time. I started to bring this idea here as well to construction business. I didn't start it, so I just tried to point it out. Especially the quote by Taichi Ono, who says that all we are doing is looking at the timeline from the moment the customer gives us an order to the point when we collect the cash. So lead time is the key in lean. And the second most important thing is collecting the cash. So I also explain it sometimes like coin with two sides. On one side, there is this productivity and lead time focus, but on the other side, there must be the collection of cash. And what we are doing, and we are reducing the timeline by reducing the non-value added activities. And for me, this quote explained the big why behind the lean, and all the others is just fulfillment of this shortening the lead time to deliver the product in the quality the customer requires as soon as possible, so we can collect the cash as soon as possible. And this is 100% valid in construction business. One short example, of course, when we started speaking about lean, we started with methods. So value stream mapping, one of the basic ones, and I'll show you one example what we did on the construction side. We used the cameras you use in the wild, like wild traps, or how is it called? So when you follow the animals, so we put that into the bathrooms. People know that the cameras are there, so of course we didn't do it behind their back. So we asked them if we can just monitor their activities in the bathroom, so we can track the time and what's actually happening. And you directly see then when we followed one bathroom and from start to completion, you see the brutal fact. The lead time 64 days till one bathroom is fully finished. Production time actually was just 6 days, and activity ratio, meaning that people could work on the 100% of the area, they actually worked only on 10%. So just by applying value stream mapping, we were able to achieve the outcome that we shortened the time from 64 days, from 64 to 46. But yeah, that's one way of looking at the things. But what if I tell you that we are able to decrease the time to 0 just by using some prefab bathrooms? We just we company built an outset and we deliver them to our construction site, and the bathroom is already ready. So we can look on the shortening the lead time from two perspectives: applying methods or changing the technology in which we produce. Very briefly, some achievements in construction time: 3-hour projects. So one area you see 12 months, 20 months, 17 months, and the last project we are building currently now, it's in plan. Of course, it's a little bit smaller, but also it's quite shorter. So we are continuously shortening the time that takes us to build our constructions. So again, coming very quickly to diagrams, how actually we check what we do. One thing to add, we are even improving the way how we plan and how we re-evaluate schedules. You see on the left side is NUPU area project 5. We actually updated the schedule once in 2 months. Now on the projects that are going in NUPU 15, see we check them like each week, and we update and we follow and we check if we make some progress. So
just
I see
reminder, Marek,
yeah.
we have 6 minutes and 3 questions in a row. So if you can summarize the key messages.
So then I go very quickly to digitalization. One thing to tell you that we are in strong metrics organization, so working on project, therefore looking at the lead time mostly from the project perspective. And the last thing, which should be interesting, or it is interesting because I like to speak about AI, and I like this joke a lot, and I found out that only I understand this joke, so I'm sorry. I don't know how many of you saw the Terminator movie, but this lady, this poor lady, she was fighting her whole life against AI, and now we have AI everywhere. So also in YIT, we look at AI and how we can use it. But I can tell you from many use cases, the small application like ChatGPT or Copilot or Claude, they will not save us. What will save us are maybe bigger applications like startups. They are implementing the AIs into their products. And we have one which we cooperate with. It's Kubu, it's a Slovak startup. And here I'd like to mention that we take lead time seriously. So we don't look only into construction, how long does it take to build. We also look at the design. How long does it take to design the building? How long does it take to plan everything and to deliver to customers? So really end to end, and we have the benefit that we cover the whole value chain, starting with acquisition and finishing of selling the last flat to the customer. So now we are working with a startup which provides us. We are developing together this generative design. They have the know-how, we have the data, and now we are able to rapidly shorten the time to design. So you see directly at the beginning, so you can put all the information you required in the system, and the system design you the best possible options for how your construction should look like. And it goes from the area that builds the label of the building, and it goes to those singular flat and design it. One important thing to say, I very much like the approach, because the approach to design changed a little bit with this AI. And it's like, now we are not designing what we want. We don't put to the system, I want the building this high, and I want to have this light in this flats, and I want to have it facing this area. They do it, and I like the approach very much. They do it vice versa. They put all the constraints. So we put all the constraints and or the regulations, all the laws that are related to that into the system, and let the system play with it. So after thousands of iterations, we have the right one which really fits the criteria and is not violating any of the constraints.
Maybe here fits very good the question of Irena, because we have the 3 minutes. Which kind of data did you need or use to build short simulation of building construction? Irena,
which kind of,
at the beginning, but it can be.
Yeah, we have kind of our concept how we would like to build. We use quite a lot of prefabrication. We have our modules. We develop a concept how we want to build, how our building should look like, what components they should be have in it. So that's what we were able to fill this software with our data. And there is some general regulation in construction which we follow as well.
And there is also a question, do you use IPD, integrated project delivery,
yeah,
when constructing, and what are your thoughts about it?
Actually, it's not like we use it on 100%. We are implementing it. We use this terminology. We started to do it. We have like several approaches how to approach the planning. Integrated project delivery is one of them. Let's say we started to do it. I cannot say we are expert, but my colleague would tell more about it. But yeah, we are using it.
Mm-hmm. And great. And Melina Prota is asking, from a process standpoint, your improvements in cycle time and lead time are remarkable. If you had to highlight the 3 most critical process factors, the secret sauce that enable this acceleration, what would they be? We have just last 1 minute, so keep the answer.
I'll give you just one, which is the crucial one. If you really want to shorten the lead time, change the technology. Don't change the little nitty-gritty details following the coordination of the work. Focus on technology. So go more to dry processes from wet processes. Go more for industrialized construction, not to use concrete, but to use modules and prefabs. This shorten the time dramatically. Of course, you need to pay attention to coordination and daily huddles and so on. That's valid. Of course, you need to use the takt-time planning, but you change the technology, you shorten the lead time. And this is valid not only for construction. That's teaching of Shigeo Shingo. Focus on the processes, not operation. Focus on the technology you use to shape the product. So don't use gluing, use rivets, for example. Don't go for concrete, go for modules. And this is the one which
thank you, Marek, a lot. And thank you for all watching us.
Thank you. Veronica, thank you so much for the story. Again, great lean construction case, great learnings. Thank you, guys.